GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening, I'm Marc Beaumont. Our top story tonight. A Quebec OB GYN group has sued the Specialist Doctors Federation over a pay gap. Meanwhile, drivers should expect moderate congestion as construction continues across the city. And good news for commuters, Android phones can now store your Opus Transit Pass. Over to you, Emma.
The Groove N Kizomba Festival returns for its 9th edition this weekend at Parc Jean Drapeau, opening Friday evening with a dance showcase at 7 o'clock.
Throughout Saturday and Sunday, the festival offers 3 free performances each day, afternoon, early evening, and late night, plus interactive workshops for dancers of all ages.
Featured artists include Montreal's own Kizomba Collective, Brazil's Rio Rhythm Troupe, and Senegalese dancer Aminata Diop, while local food trucks serve Caribbean-inspired cuisine.
Tickets are complimentary, and the festival encourages early arrival for best viewing. Lots to get to, let's begin tonight. Good evening, Montreal. Today, the Association des Obstétriciens et Gynécologues du Québec filed a lawsuit in the Superior Court against the Fédération des Médecins Spécialistes du Québec, alleging that obstetricians and gynecologists are paid less than other specialist physicians. The AOGQ claims the disparity stems from the FMSQ's collective bargaining framework, which it says favors certain specialties while leaving women's health providers at a disadvantage. In its filing, the group seeks a court order requiring the Federation to renegotiate fee schedules and to provide compensation that reflects the workload and on-call responsibilities of obstetric and gynecologic care. The case marks the first legal challenge of its kind within the province's medical community and could set a precedent for how specialist remuneration is determined across Quebec. The court will review the complaint in the coming weeks.
Researchers have confirmed the presence of a transmissible cancer affecting brown bullhead fish in Lake Memphremagog, Quebec. The study, released Thursday, July 23 at 06:09 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, documents a malignancy that can spread from one individual to another within the species. The disease is classified as a transmissible neoplasm, a type of cancer that can be passed between individuals. Laboratory analysis of specimens collected from the lake revealed cancer cells capable of moving between fish, a phenomenon previously observed only in a few marine species. Scientists say the finding marks the first recorded case of such a disease in freshwater environments in Canada. Ongoing monitoring will focus on the extent of the infection and potential impacts on the lake's ecosystem. The research team plans to share results with provincial wildlife authorities to guide future management actions.
Provincial leaders across Quebec and several other Canadian provinces met today to demand that Prime Minister Marc outline a coordinated response to the latest tariff measures announced by President Donald Trump. The officials said the new U.S. duties threaten key sectors ranging from automotive parts to agricultural exports, and they warned that unchecked trade barriers could undermine growth for years. In a joint statement, Quebec Premier Christine Freichet urged the federal government to act swiftly, emphasizing the need for a clear strategy that protects Canadian producers while preserving market access. The request comes as Ottawa prepares to convene an inter-ministerial task force, with the Prime Minister expected to present a detailed plan to the cabinet within the coming weeks. Trade analysts note that the escalating dispute could reshape North American supply chains if not addressed promptly.
Yesterday, CF Montreal fell to Nashville SC by a 1-0 margin at Geodis Park. The lone goal arrived from a penalty kick awarded midway through the second half, giving the visitors the decisive advantage. Both clubs entered the regular season contest with identical conference points, and the loss leaves the Montreal side 3 points behind its rivals. Nashville's striker converted the spot kick after a handball was called inside the box, and the home crowd celebrated the breakaway finish. Montreal pressed for an equalizer in the closing minutes, generating several chances but failing to beat the goalkeeper. The penalty remained the only scoring action of the night, as neither side recorded additional goals. The result marks the latest setback for the club's push toward a playoff spot as the MLS season heads into its final stretch.
Dedmon will step onto the field for his first Alouette snap this Tuesday when Montreal hosts the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The former special teams standout joins the club in a bid to spark a more dynamic return game, a priority after a sluggish first half of the season. Coach Jason Moss announced the move during Tuesday's press conference, noting Dedmon's speed and tackling ability could give the squad the edge it needs on punts and kickoffs. Hamilton arrives on the road after solid showing last weekend, and the matchup promises to test both units early in the week. Fans can catch the action at Percival Molson Memorial Stadium, where tickets are already selling briskly. The game kicks off in the early evening later with the league's usual broadcast on national television. Up next, we'll explore why the Quebec bus fleet stalls amid funding woes and hear about illegal odometer tampering gadgets. We will be right back.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad you're staying with us. Let's turn to Emma Leclair for the local stories that matter to our neighborhoods tonight.
Quebec's municipal, intercity and school bus fleet has stayed flat for several years, a stagnation officials say stems from chronic funding shortfalls. The lack of new purchases is now limiting the ability of transit agencies to expand routes or increase service frequency, squeezing commuters who rely on buses for daily travel. Industry analysts note that without fresh capital, manufacturers cannot scale production, which in turn depresses job growth in the sector. Provincial officials acknowledge the financing gap but have not announced a concrete plan to address it, leaving many municipalities to juggle aging vehicles with tightening budgets. As a result, riders may face reduced reliability and longer wait times, while school districts confront challenges in maintaining safe transport for students. The situation underscores the broader strain on public transport infrastructure across the province.
Mechanics across the Montreal region reported today the emergence of sophisticated gadgets that can alter a vehicle's odometer reading. The devices, which appear to be newly marketed, allow sellers to present artificially low mileage, deceiving buyers and complicating insurance assessments. Garage owners said they have already encountered several of the units during routine inspections, noting the equipment can be hidden within dashboard wiring. The discovery follows a wave of recent reports about odometer fraud spreading beyond traditional methods. Officials have not yet issued a formal advisory, but the trade groups are urging owners to request detailed mileage verification when purchasing used cars. With many commuters relying on older vehicles, the potential for hidden mileage could affect resale values and safety inspections throughout the province. Police have launched inquiries to locate the manufacturers, suspecting the kits are sold via online stores.
Yesterday, Android users in the Greater Montreal area gained the ability to load their transit passes directly onto their smartphones, ending the need for the plastic Opus cards that have long been required for bus, metro, and commuter rail rides. The new feature, rolled out by the Transit Authority, lets riders tap their phones at turnstiles and on-board vehicles, mirroring the contactless payment already available to iPhone owners. Officials said the update aligns with the province's push toward digital ticketing and should smooth daily commutes, especially for students and workers who already rely on their phones for navigation and payment. Early testers reported that the app syncs automatically with existing Opus accounts, preserving balance and travel history. The change comes as part of broader efforts to modernize fare collection across the region's public transport network.
Two friendly internationals are set to roll through Canada later this summer. The men's national side will host Chile in Toronto on September 26, then welcome Peru to Montreal Stadium on October 3. Fans will have the chance to see Canada's squad test itself against South American opponents before the next World Cup qualifying cycle. Local vendors around the Montreal venue expect a boost in foot traffic, and families are already planning weekend outings to catch the action. Ticket sales opened last month, with early bird packages offering access to pre-match fan zones. The matches also give young players in the province a rare opportunity to watch elite talent up close, sparking interest in grassroots soccer. As the dates draw near, the buzz is building across the province, promising a lively atmosphere for both games.
Yesterday, a suspected tornado ripped through the Laurentians, leaving a trail of broken trees, damaged roofs, and scattered debris. Environment Canada confirmed the event as a rare occurrence for the province and has launched an investigation into the storm's origins. Local official Dominic Martel described the damage as significant, noting several homes suffered roof loss and power lines were down across the area. Emergency crews responded quickly, clearing roads and restoring electricity where possible. Several roadways stayed closed overnight while crews removed fallen trees, and fire departments helped with rescue operations at compromised structures. Meteorologists emphasized that tornadoes are uncommon in Quebec, making this incident especially noteworthy. Residents are being advised to inspect their property for structural damage and to report any hazards to authorities. The agency will continue monitoring the site and release further findings as the assessment progresses.
Now let's take a quick look at tonight's forecast with our weather team.
A high-pressure ridge drifts east, flattening the jet and locking in tonight's clear, calm air. The all-time heat record for July 23 fell at 30.9 Celsius in 2022, set during a lingering ridge that pushed temperatures well above the climatological average. The cold record, 14.6 Celsius in 2025, arrived with an early-season Arctic blast that briefly shattered the summer norm. Normal high for this date hovers around 24 Celsius with a low near 12 Celsius. So today's 23 Celsius feels modestly warm yet well below the historic peak. The live radar shows a broad band of clear returns stretching from the St. Lawrence to the Laurentians. No precipitation echoes across the province, confirming the dry air mass anchored by the high pressure. With the jet stream sliding gently westward at 48 kilometers per hour, any moisture would be sheared away before reaching the city. Expect the sky to stay clear for the next several hours, then gradually fade to a thin evening glow. At 6 p.m., the city sits at 23 Celsius under a mostly clear sky, humidity low at 24%, and a gentle west wind of 18 kilometers per hour, gusting up to 34. A high-pressure system is building, and the jet stream overhead flows westward, suppressing lift and keeping clouds at bay. As the ridge strengthens through the night, temperatures will dip to 13 Celsius by sunrise, then climb back to 25 Celsius tomorrow. The UV index reads 6, and the strongest wind gusts will reach 28 kilometers per hour from the southwest later this evening. No weather alerts are in force. Because the pressure is rising, any lingering moisture will evaporate, reinforcing the dry conditions. Visibility remains 15 kilometers, confirming the stable atmosphere. The 5-day envelope stays under the same high-pressure dome, but the jet begins to wobble eastward midweek. Friday brings a clear sky and a high of 27 Celsius, low 15, with the ridge still suppressing any rain. Saturday turns overcast as a weak frontal boundary nudges the western edge of the dome, lifting temperatures to 29 Celsius and dropping lows to 16. Sunday offers a return to sunshine, high 29, low 19, yet a 25% chance of rain as isolated showers tap the outskirts. Monday repeats the overcast pattern with a high of 27 and low 20, and a 35% rain risk. Tuesday sees the strongest moisture influx, high 26, low 20, overcast skies, and an 85% chance of rain, marking the wettest stretch of the period. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay tuned for traffic updates, the festival Haiti on Fire, line up, and a look at Steve's music store auction. We will be right back.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches, no middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Emma Leclair, the biggest slowdown right now is the Honoré-Mercier Bridge, down to 1 lane each way through August 3rd. Expect a queue, especially during rush hour. The Louis-Hippolyte-Lafontaine Tunnel northbound stays closed, with southbound traffic in a contraflow lane adding minutes to downtown trips. On the Bonaventure Expressway near the Victoria Bridge, one of 2 eastbound lanes is shut for reconfiguration, so merge early. Westbound traffic on the Claimant Bridge is reduced to a single lane as crews repair beams. Highway 520 narrows around the overpass reconstruction with diversions in place. The Daiquiri Expressway southbound lane is closed, routing cars onto Daiquiri Boulevard. Henry Bourassa Boulevard runs with only 2 of 4 southbound lanes open, and the Tellier-Notre Dame corridor has a single lane closed. The Dorval roundabout at exit 56 is under inspection, causing a hold. No transit delays are reported. The network is clear. Expect moderate congestion this afternoon as construction continues, so allow extra travel time.
Festival Haiti on Fire lights up Parc Lafontaine today, turning the green space into a vibrant celebration of Haitian music, art, and cuisine, perfect for families looking for a taste of the islands right here in Montreal. Across town, the Bell Center hosts IVE, the chart-topping K-pop quartet, for a high-energy concert that promises dazzling choreography and a night of global pop excitement. If laughter is what you need, the Just for Laughs Festival continues across downtown venues, delivering free outdoor shows and hundreds of performances that keep the city smiling. And keep an eye on the calendar. Later this week, the Bell Center welcomes Ariana Grande for a multi-date pop extravaganza, a must-see for anyone craving powerhouse vocals and spectacular production. Whether you're in the mood for culture, dance, comedy, or a future headline, Montreal's summer scene has something to make today unforgettable. And now here's Jason with sports.
Opening night preview, Canadians set for Canadian clash as NHL season looms. The Canadians will travel to Toronto for an all-Canadian showdown on opening night, scheduled for September 29. CBC notes this is one of two domestic matchups kicking off the 2026-27 NHL season, with the Oilers-Canucks game following later. Montreal has dealt forward Brendan Gallagher to Vancouver, receiving future considerations in return, according to CBC Sports NHL. The move reshapes the Canadiens' forward depth as the Canucks add a veteran scorer ahead of training camp. The Canadiens have dealt forward Brendan Gallagher to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for future considerations. The move, announced late June, marks a roster shift as Montreal parts ways with the veteran winger, while Vancouver adds depth to its forward group. An international sports firm has injected $30 million into the Northern Super League, the Canadian women's professional soccer competition now in its second season, supporting its six-team structure spanning Vancouver, Calgary, Halifax, Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa. The Canadiens have dealt forward Brendan Gallagher to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for future considerations, a move confirmed on June 29 that reshapes Montreal's forward depth and adds a veteran presence to Vancouver's roster as the off-season progresses.
Steve's Music Store on St. Laurent Boulevard in the Plateau has announced its chapter, auctioning off the remaining instruments and vinyl after 62 years of serving Montreal's music lovers. Founded by Steve Leclair, the shop has been a place where budding guitarists, seasoned jazz trios, and neighborhood kids have found gear and encouragement to make noise. This weekend, the auction will open its doors to anyone who wants a piece of that history, from vintage Fender amps to rare records that have spun in local cafes for generations. For Montreal, the store has been more than a retailer. It's a rehearsal space, a meeting point, and a soundtrack to countless lives. Its farewell reminds us how small businesses shape the cultural pulse of our city. Up next, a feel-good look at Festival Haiti on Fire, lighting up our city with music and community pride. Stay tuned.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
On a breezy late summer afternoon along the Quai des Canadiens, families, retirees, and students gather with sturdy gloves and reusable bags, ready to give the St. Laurent a fresh start. Marc, Beaumont, you can see the volunteers stretching their arms toward the water's edge, the sun catching the ripple of the river as a gentle reminder of what's at stake. The third edition of the St. Laurent Expedition, running from August 6 to 21st, calls on Montrealers to sweep the riverbanks from the city right up to Beaumont. Among the participants is 12-year-old Leia, who pauses to pick up a bright blue bottle, then hands it to a neighbor who laughs. Looks like we're cleaning history together. A retired carpenter, Mitchell, uses his seasoned hands to dismantle tangled fishing lines, his quiet focus echoing the rhythm of the current. When the final bag is tied and the shoreline gleams under the setting light, the sense of shared purpose lingers, proof that a community can turn a simple act of picking up litter into a promise of cleaner waters for generations. It's moments like these that remind us why we love this city.
I'm Emma Leclair reporting from downtown Montreal. We're hearing about a surprising partnership that's lighting a hopeful spark for the province. Amazon has opened an emergency coordination hub in the Alberta city of Calgary to support Quebec's current wildfire battle. What does it mean for a city like ours when help travels over 1,000 kilometers to stand beside us? The new center, housed in a repurposed warehouse, is staffed by a mix of Amazon logistics specialists and local volunteers who are monitoring satellite feeds, routing firefighting equipment, and even coordinating food deliveries for displaced families. One of the volunteers, a retired firefighter from St. Jean, described watching a live map flicker with red dots and feeling a surge of purpose as the team redirected a convoy of water tankers toward the Charlevoix region. What makes the story shine is the way technology and community spirit have converged. A cloud-based platform is allowing real-time updates to reach municipal shelters, and the hub's calm, organized rhythm has become a lifeline for those on the front lines. It's a reminder that when neighbors reach across provinces, the fire of compassion can outpace any blaze.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us this evening. From the startling discovery of a transmissible cancer in our Quebec fish to the latest on the U.S. tariff talks, it's been a full day of news. Stay tuned tomorrow for more stories that matter to you. Until then, I'm Marc Beaumont.